any questions when I'm all done, please feel free to ask myself. Rick is up top. Is Myra still up there? But there's some volunteers here. We all would be glad to answer any question that you might have. This is Taroko going by here to your right. You're looking at an exhibit that is 6.3 million gallons of water. It's as large as a football field. When you came, there goes Yushian. When you came when you came through the tunnel, you were coming underneath the middle of this exhibit. You've wrapped around, now you're at the far deep end of this exhibit. The 6.3 million gallons of water is all being held back by this acrylic window. This is a cutout of the window over here. If you get an opportunity, come look at it sideways, see the layers that are there, and then also put your hand behind it and look through. So many people say, well, that window is obviously magnifying these animals. It is not. They really are this big. And this is how thick the window is. I look at it often as I stand here and reassure myself how thick it is. This exhibit is home to about 50,000 fish, about 45 or 50 different species of fish. You wouldn't necessarily find these fish all in one ocean. What they've created here is a one world ocean. This is Alice going by up here. So all of these fish would be found generally in the warm waters. If you look at the globe's 71% water, and really all the oceans really are connected, so it really is a one world ocean. This exhibit is home to the 4 whale sharks. We have Alice and Trixie, and Taroko and Yushian. Trixie is the largest, just over 20 feet. The males, Taroko and Yushian, were just measured. They are 16 feet and 16 feet 2 inches. All of the whale sharks come from Taiwan. The males' names, Taroko and Yushian, are Taiwanese names. Taroko means superior and magnificent, and Yushian means jade mountain. Yushian's the easiest one to spot as he swims by. He's usually the quickest one. But also look at his dorsal fin, the fin on his back. He's got a notch out of it. There goes the hammerhead shark. See him moving over towards your left? Imagine if I stand in the middle of the window. I don't want to ruin your picture there. When they swim by, imagine them being as long as from me to the end of the window. That's how long they can possibly get. So when they swim by, imagine how much bigger they still have to grow. But remember, the exhibit's as big as a football field. There's room for 6 full-grown 40-foot whale sharks in this exhibit. So there's plenty of room. Whale sharks are the largest fish in the ocean. Here comes the bowmouth guitarfish swimming towards us. Swim up. I want you to see underneath him. They won't do it. On that animal, his gills are underneath. When the large 2 sawfish goes by, watch and see, his gills are underneath. That tells you that animal is not a shark. He's related to a ray. When the gills are underneath, he's a ray. So here's Taroko. You can see he's 16 feet 2 inches long right now. Imagine he's still got a ways to go to be full grown. Again, whale sharks are the largest fish in the ocean. They have a mouth that can get to be 4 feet wide. They have an esophagus that won't let them swallow anything larger than a quarter. So the biggest fish in the ocean eat the littlest guys in the ocean. They are filter feeders, and we actually spoon feed them here. They've learned to come to a very specific feeding station. As they swim by, they literally pour the food right in front of their mouths. They open their mouth wide, they suck it in, they're like a vacuum cleaner. They suck the food in, as they close their mouth, all the liquid gushes out through their gills, and then they swallow their food. We feed them a krill. It's a tiny shrimp-like animal, silverside, and we feed them a gelatin mix that we get that comes with all of the nutrients needed to help them grow. In this exhibit alone, we put in 800 pounds of food every day. We target feed the more predatory fish, the great hammerhead shark, the grouper. The secret with fish, as long as you keep the fish well fed, they don't keep eating. So we target feed, particularly the more predatory fish, and for the most part they leave each other alone, as long as they're well fed. Here's the grouper. This is a giant grouper. You find him off that's a potato grouper. This is the giant grouper. Find them off the coast of Australia. Fact about grouper, they live to be 50 years old. They can get to be 600 to 800 pounds. That one's probably a couple hundred pounds, still fairly young. They don't start reproducing until they're between 15 and 20 years old. As you can imagine, they make it to the menus long before they've been able to reproduce. So there is a program that we have here modeled after the one at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Ours is called Seafood Savvy. Any seafood eaters in the group? It's okay, you can admit it. We do have a card, though, that we'd like you to consider picking up and considering it when you make your seafood choices. Gives you some ideas of fish we'd like you to consider avoiding. Gives you some better options, maybe fish that are able to reproduce themselves a little more quickly than the grouper, but also some fish that are farm raised in a healthy way, both for the animal and for the environment. So if you'd like a card, feel free to ask me for one, or anybody who has this white pin on their lapel, they'll have these cards also. These are porkfish swimming by with the yellow with the two black stripes on their front. I'm told you pull them out of water, they'll grunt like a pig. But they're also cleaner fish. It would not be unusual to find a grouper hovering over here, and the porkfish would come up and eat the parasites off of that grouper. It's called a symbiotic relationship. Both of them benefit from that behavior. Any newcomers here today? Anybody first time? Welcome. Are you having fun? Good. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. We'll try to answer your questions for you. Again, I hope you're having a great time and you're have a nice afternoon here. Thanks for coming. Oh, Michelle.
Did that wake you up? I tried to be loud.